We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need great help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my attention. I can show that you got my attention. See your nigga, that's the business. Touchdown, they pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you back home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need lights up getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. Got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers, underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
While we put the pressure and expectations on stars, on superstars, on certain positions, it's sport. And you need your teammates to step up. Not every single game is going to be won by the best player on the floor. And last night, raise your hand if you had Nicholas Batum as that player for the Philadelphia 76ers for saving Joel Embiid this morning, for advancing the 76ers into the playoff bracket, because that is what happened last night. We saw playoff Jimmy early. The Miami Heat doing their thing, up 14 points, but then the game changed, not because Joel Embiid rounded into form, because Nicholas Batum stepped up when his team needed him the most. What it do, and welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley, Jerry Wright with you this morning. Just like Jerry stepping up this week, you never know when you're going to need someone. And it was Nicholas Batum last night for the Philadelphia 76ers. 20 points, 5 3-pointers. Big-time defense on the second half. It started with Jimmy Butler. It ended on Tyler Herro blocking a shot in the big moments at the end, forcing a backcourt violation in the fourth quarter. This is what it's all about. We are hyper-focused on the superstars. We're talking about Joel Embiid, his time to step up, the pressure, this and that. But every star needs their teammates. And last night it was Nicholas Batum.
Yeah, Nick Batum was just absolutely amazing coming off the bench. You looked for Joel Embiid to get going in the fourth quarter and bring the 76ers back into the thick of things. But him and Nick Batum were able to do it, and it was an extremely close game coming down the stretch. I think the injury to Jimmy Butler played a part in that. But it was a great game. If I'm a 76ers fan, I'm happy. I'm happy to be done. And if I'm a Miami Heat fan, I'm a little bit concerned.
You're nervous this morning.
Yeah.
The reports are that it's a potential MCL injury for Jimmy Butler. And now, I think we all were sitting here yesterday going, whoever loses is still getting it.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Miami, they're going to beat Chicago or Atlanta in that next game and get in. But it's a question mark now if Jimmy Butler's not available, because as you mentioned, you saw it in the second half.
Yeah.
And that's as big of a factor as Nicholas. Because Jimmy Butler plays the full 48.
Yeah.
Probably think Miami doesn't blow a 14-point lead.
Yeah.
But still, how they came back in, it was the spark from Nicholas Batum. Joel Embiid making some big plays down the stretch, which include actually an assist on a big and one when he found Kelly Oubre under the basket late in the game, give him a 99-96 lead. And that's the difference in this. Joel Embiid wasn't 100%, but this is kind of where he's been. And you're looking around and going, who's it going to be? And we were talking about Tyrese Maxey. We were talking about Tobias Harris, and it's the savvy vet off the bench, Nicholas Batum, that has a gigantic game offensively and defensively, because it did start there was some defense on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, though, suffers that knee injury in the first half, slows him down, but he's not there. in crunch time, that's sport.
Yeah.
You have to take advantage of what's in front of you. Unfortunately, injuries are a part of the game. And for Miami, even with that double-digit lead, they felt it. When Philadelphia got that momentum going in the second half, the crowd was exploding. Philly was making plays. And, this is now an interesting dynamic. So if you're Philadelphia, you got the Nick Batum. He got you in the playoffs. Philadelphia will be playing the New York Knicks in the 2-7 matchup. Watching Joel Embiid last night, how do you feel about him being able to be that guy and get 4 games?
I'm happy. I think, the first half of a playing game is all going to be about adrenaline. You're going to see teams going up and down the floor. I think that's why Miami was able to sustain their lead in the first half because, again, even the injury to Jimmy Butler, he's not more so sitting on it and thinking about the injury. He's just going off of adrenaline and then going to halftime and you're sitting down and you're not moving as much. Things can get kind of clogged up. But if I'm a 76ers fan, I'm happy about the matchup. Obviously, I'm taking Joel Embiid over Mitchell Robinson. In this case, it's going to be hard for the New York Knicks to slow him down. But luckily, they have, I think, about 12 fouls that they can get on use on Joel Embiid. But the sad part is he can shoot free throws and he can make them. So it's going to be a tough series.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. The Knicks, they've had a special season. They're the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Jalen Brunson has been unbelievable. Jalen Brunson orchestrating that offense. You have a New York Knicks team that's, they went out and made some moves. OG Anunoby, who's been hurt, not there. Julius Randle out for the rest of the season. He missed half the year, and then they officially announced it a couple weeks ago that he was going to be out, and not come back. And they were able to maintain. And so that, to me, it shows that Jalen Brunson is one of those upper-level players in the NBA, that Tibbs has a good buy-in from that entire group. And I do think it's going to be a really contested series. I don't want to overlook the New York Knicks because of the way that backcourt is playing.
Yeah.
But this is one where I also go, the best player on that floor is going to be Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And Joel Embiid has a lot of experience not being whatever level 100% is at the end of the season. Because you just wrapped up 4 years playing Division I football at the University of Mexico. You get to the end of the year, you're not feeling great. But I'm sure there's kind of different levels of just the normal who got to the end of the season. Yeah, this hurts, but for Joel, it always feels like he gets to the end of the season and it's below the normal.
Yeah.
And so he's used to that, but is that going to be something that does hold them back? Because last night I was impressed with the Sixers depth.
Yeah.
Batum coming off the bench. What we saw out of Buddy Hield. I know we were talking about Buddy Hield a lot yesterday as being a big name in the offseason because Buddy Hield is the perfect piece to winning team.
He is. He's the perfect 3-and-D guy. He plays excellent defense. He gives you length. He gives you size. He gives you reach. And then he can go in the corner. He can knock down threes. He can get his own shot. So he's a perfect piece for the 76ers. And so when I look at a New York Knicks, it's going to be a Dante DiVincenzo or a Josh Hart. They're going to be, given the case of guarding Buddy Hield and making sure that they can slow him down. And then the same thing is going to be a Tyrese Maxey or even a Tobias Harris that's going to be taking the chance of, making sure that they give a different look to a Jalen Brunson, slowing him down. He's been having a phenomenal end to his season. He'll be in the MVP conversation. So it's going to be a great series. I like the matchups if I'm either team. And it's just come down to the superstars. Is it going to be Joel Embiid rising up to the occasion even though he's not 100%? Or is it going to be Jalen Brunson and the Villanova boys being able to take over the game?
And it's easy to say, any of this series, get out to a quick start, win at home, but especially the Knicks. If they're able to jump out at home with Joel Embiid not being 100%, with some of the question marks you saw with the Sixers, because you saw it last night down 14 points at home to the Miami Heat. Now, that's the way you can swing the series, is you get out on it early. And while Philadelphia came back, Nicholas Batum had himself a game, which, by the way, is also saving Joel Embiid this morning.
Yep.
Just taking it from everyone in the basketball and sports world. You look at the factors in the second half. And while you came back, you're going to play the Knicks, there's some doubt there.
Yeah.
Because you came back because Jimmy Butler got hurt. And then you're going on the road to Madison Square Garden to play a Knicks team that they haven't been in this position in a while. And that's, even with the stuff that they've gone through, they believe that they could knock off the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, if it started with Nick Batum, of course it was going to end with Kobe White. And I know there were questions. Even Sias was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to watch this game. I don't know if I'm sticking around to watch Atlanta and Chicago.
I did, though.
I don't blame you. But Kobe White gave you something to watch for. Like, Kobe White, yep, stand up Kobe White. North Carolina, 42 points as the Chicago Bulls defeated the Atlanta Hawks 131-116. And this is, I know there was injuries for Atlanta, and Trae Young missed a big chunk of games. It was like 24, 28 games towards the end of the season. The Hawks, you don't even get a participation trophy for showing up. It's like, Atlanta, I appreciate you for being noise in the background while I was finishing my show prep last night, but that's what happens. And while the play-in tournament, it provides a different opportunity. And heck, we saw the Lakers last year go from play-in to the Western Conference Finals. We saw Miami go from play-in to the NBA Finals. Every once in a while, there's going to be games like this where the number 10 team is 10 games below 500.
Yeah.
The number 10 team doesn't play defense. And we look at all these other matchups, and Philadelphia, Miami, 105-104. What we saw between the Lakers and Pelicans, the Kings going out there, holding the Warriors to under 100 points, and then the Hawks give up 131 points.
Yeah.
That's who they were this season. They were hurt. They played no defense. And they blew it out the building.
I mean, you look at the box scoring, and it's like, oh, they only lost by 15. Couldn't have been, a bad game. And then you look at Trae Young, and it's like, okay, 22 points and 10 assists, but he had 6 turnovers. His plus and minus was negative 27. DeJounte Murray scored 30 points, but most of that damage was done in the first half. The Bulls led from 7:46 on in the first quarter and never looked back. And then DeMar DeRozan, he had a plus 27, plus or minus. And Kobe White with 42 points, he was also able to get it done offensively with the 6 assists and 9 rebounds. So it was just the total team game from the Chicago Bulls. And quite frankly, that's why I watched, because, again, when you look at Jimmy Butler and him getting hurt, you're like, okay, who's going to be the team that is going to take over that spot? And what I saw out of Chicago last night was quite interesting. And they're going to give Miami.
They could go down there and beat Miami.
Yeah, they're going to give them fits, because if you don't have Jimmy Butler to go against DeMar DeRozan, who's just eating from the mid-range, get into his spots, being able to pick apart the defense, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to win.
That's a coin flip game now.
Yeah.
Without Jimmy Butler, Chicago can go down there. With DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White playing with that confidence. We'll see what's up with Alex Caruso, who got banged up because got stepped on by his center, Andre Drummond, at center court. Because Caruso is one of those difference makers defensively on the floor. But yeah, it's a game changer. With Jimmy Butler out, Miami, they were in this position last year. They lost their first game in the play-in and then had to win the second one to advance. So it's not unfamiliar territory for them, but they had playoff Jimmy. And the reports are this morning that the Heat fear that he has an MCL injury. And so you're looking at Zion Williamson out with a hamstring. Jimmy Butler not thinking he's going to be ready to go in 2 days, not even 2 days, a day, tomorrow, with an MCL injury back in Miami. And that changes everything. And the Chicago Bulls, you have yourself an opportunity to lose to the Boston Celtics in the first round in the 1-8 matchup. It's opening drive. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you. 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animal hotline and text line this morning. Man, we are stacked on a Thursday. Coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk with Diego Sanchez. And we had Charlie Minn on last week, the director of the new Diego Sanchez documentary. And I'm sure you've heard clips of Diego talking about it. But Charlie Minn made a documentary on Diego Sanchez and his life. And he is a very polarizing figure in the fight game. And, of course, this focus, not just on the fighting, it's on who he is as a person, the things he overcame. And, Diego Sanchez is a prominent figure in the development of UFC. We're talking Ultimate Fighter 1 participant, and Dana White, president of the UFC, has talked so much about what that first season of the Ultimate Fighter and those fighters mean to him, mean to the UFC. And I'm really interested to talk with Diego because some of the conversations I've heard with him is, this was a project he was kind of unsure of, but then once he got into it, he feels that there's still so much more to be said. So what are you going to learn about Diego Sanchez? What is going to pull you in for this documentary that will debut tomorrow? We'll talk with Diego coming up at 9:30. We'll come back on the other side. There are times to bet on yourself, but this is not one of them. A message was sent, and this is why it's not because it's legal. This is working, folks. And a message was sent by the NBA. We're going to get into that next here on the Sports Animal.
When you have sports mixed with your pop.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito, he's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado, be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
to pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
You want to bet on yourself. You want to show people what you can do. In all walks of life. Whether it's taking chances, job, maybe it's a goal you're trying to accomplish. Anything. Bet on yourself. Show the world what you can do. But then there's also times you don't really want to bet on yourself because it could cost you everything. Everything. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley, former Lobo linebacker, hanging out with us this week. Jerry Wright with you. And Jerry bets on himself every day.
Every day.
Superstar.
Probably too much.
Every day. He's coming in, putting in the work.
51% of the time.
Producing, dropping news updates, just knocking it out.
You bet.
Well, if you're an athlete, you want to use it metaphorically.
Yeah.
I bet on myself. I had a great season, and now I got the contract extension. I did not sign that deal. I bet on myself, and now I have a mega deal. You don't want to actually bet on yourself. Sports gambling, it's still polarizing because it was taboo for so long that it is one of those things that, some people just looked at it as evil for so long. They don't like it. Don't tell me the point spreads. Don't tell me, what does it mean a team is a 4.5 point favorite? Yeah. Minus 130. What are these numbers? I'm not here for math. And then there's the people that were doing it before and continue to do it and enjoy the entertainment value. I'll say one of the best segments on TV is Bad Bets from Scott Van Pelt. Just because it highlights how insane sports betting is. If you think you know, you have no idea. If you think you know, you have no idea. Just watch that segment, as many of us have. You don't understand how ridiculous this is. But it's different when you're in it. And Toronto Raptors forward Deontay Porter been banned for life from the NBA because an investigation found that not only did Porter provide confidential information to bettors in games he was playing in, betting on his team, the Raptors, to lose,
that's crazy,
of all things, but it was also, now it said he didn't bet on games he played. So I guess, he was out of the lineup.
A little bit better.
The NBA's investigation found he bet at least 13 times on NBA games through a friend's account. He bet $54,000. So this is an NBA player.
Yeah.
And guess how much he won?
How much?
$21,000. That's a loss. This is an NBA player betting on NBA basketball games. No win, nothing.
Yeah. It's a tough deal because, number one, everybody knows how difficult it is to make the NBA and then sustain a place in the NBA. There's only a certain amount of spots, 15, 16. And then he's also with the G League affiliate and the 905 Raptors. It's number one, you're betting on your team to lose. That's already an issue. Like, if you don't go into the game confident that your team's going to win, then why are you there? Number two, you're an NBA player. I'm sure you're going to make more than $21,000.
Well, if you're on one of those two-way contracts, and did you this is definitely one of those things like he just couldn't help himself. From doing it, and Deontay Porter is the brother of Michael Porter Jr. So there's some money in the family. Michael Porter Jr. has a max contract with the Denver Nuggets. By the way, NBA champion Denver Nuggets last year.
Nuggies.
So, but I know people are gonna look at this, and the easy thing. And it kind of happened too when we were going through the Shohei situation with his interpreter. Going, well, you're inviting that on yourself. If this is whatever brought to you by DraftKings, whatever brought to you by FanDuel.
Yeah.
Yes, two things can be true. Sports leagues can accept sports betting, monetize it for themselves because that money comes back into the leagues. And if money is going into leagues, where's it eventually going?
To the players.
Into the players' contract. But you can also be a player, and just because you're sponsored by something, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's not that hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will point that out, saying, well, you're bringing this on yourself. Of course they're going to bet. No.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like, if we had a big-time sponsorship, we were making money from it, but they're like, you know what, but you can't do it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we know when it's directly affecting games. Another thing, too, was a bettor placed $80,000 on a prop bet for a Porter to win $1.1 million. And the company actually froze that bet. So that's where it gets bad, too, is the prop bets, the stories we heard of Jontay Porter like starting a game and not finishing it due to injury, hit the under on some things. But what this shows you is that the mechanisms in place, it's working. Because if you're going to embrace sports gambling, you are going to open yourself up to it. Well, these are the things you want to see, is confidential information, which there's only so much you're going to know. But an NBA player of this caliber, and I know a lot of people say, of course, it's easy to make an example of Jontay Porter. Well, I think they would have done it with anyone.
Yeah.
At this point in time, if you're directly betting on the game, you're betting on yourself. The policies in place are working, and so you have to feel good about that.
Yeah,
that they caught it, and they're continuing to monitor.
Yeah, and I love how the NBA was able to crack down on it now and kind of set an example out of him that we're not going to take this. Yes, we're accepting sports betting into the financial aspect of our league, but we don't want our players to embrace it. We will refuse our players to embrace it. Of course, go get your endorsements. Of course, go get things off the court that you can, use your popularity and your status in the NBA to get you more money. But you're not going to directly impact the outcome of our basketball game. You're not going to impact the end of our seasons. And so, yeah, I'm super happy that they were able to crack down on this. But also, I wasn't super familiar with Jontay Porter. Like, I'm not a Raptors fan. I don't really watch the game. So if you're gonna bet $80,000, on somebody who isn't that well known in
That's
the
gonna
NBA basketball,
catch someone's attention.
Come on, like, let's make it make sense.
Yeah, and so it does bring up, is any betting okay, or should it be zero betting for everyone? Because we kind of went through that the last couple of years. You go back to Calvin Ridley when he got hit with the whole year suspension when he was betting on NFL games, but not the Falcons.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? And he got a 1-year suspension. He comes back last year and he parlayed that into he parlayed that into $100 million deal with the Titans. Right? He got the bag. Like, he got paid this offseason, and he also was able to overcome a 1-year suspension. You look at start of last year, like the 6 Lions that got popped because they're placing bets from the facility. And it wasn't necessarily on NFL games or Lions games.
Yeah.
So do you feel that, are you comfortable with that scale as an athlete that's, I'm sure, been told, hey, there's things you can't do?
Yeah.
And I know there's actually a push too last couple months that NCAA is trying to ban player prop bets for college athletics.
Yeah.
To avoid a situation like this. As an athlete, are you comfortable if athletes are betting on other sports, or do you think that's something that you should stay away from entirely?
Well, I kind of see both sides to it. As long as, number one, you're not betting on your team, and the players on your team, and you're not giving inside information, that stuff is damning. Like, you can't do that. And then, secondly, I understand the financial component to this. NCAA's always been kind of the one that's been like, okay, we're not going to give, the athletes money. We're not going to let them make money. And then now this new era of NIL and just the uncertainty of it all. So I understand you're going to want to put safeguards in place. But if I'm an athlete, number one, just wait. Just wait till you retire. You don't need it. And number two, don't especially do it on NCAA sports. Like, that's a no-no.
Yeah, the Ridley one is interesting when we look back at it because he bet on the Falcons when he was out.
Yeah.
And I think Calvin Ridley is lucky that he only got hit with a 1-year suspension.
Yeah.
With what we're seeing kind of come down now. But, Deontay Porter stuff, when you're dealing with prop bets on yourself, you can manipulate that. And he got the axe. So Deontay Porter, done. What do you think of just sports betting? Because it's here. And I know so many people do it in a multitude of ways. I'm a fantasy sports player. And I think that one's fascinating, too, to see like NFL players. Austin Eckler is one that does a fantasy, actually sports segment with, like, I think Yahoo Sports throughout the season. And that's one where, all right, no money is on the line. You're just putting players together, talking about performance. Now, I think that's, of course, been accepted by everyone. But still, sports betting, it's really interesting. But you need to see things like this to still have trust in the game because there's so many stories. There's so many things popping off where you think, oh, the ref was out there to screw your team, and it happens every time. We've seen Tim Donaghy situation in the NBA. Like, it's out there. So when the policies that are in place are working, it's what you want to see to feel confident in the game moving forward. 505-246-0610, the Sports Animal Hotline and text line. This morning, we'll talk with Diego Sanchez coming up at 9:30. We got a lot to talk to with Diego. Not just about his documentary and what he wants people to know about his life and his impact in the UFC, and of course here in Albuquerque in the state of New Mexico. But what it's like when you get towards the end, and it's time to turn that corner, because we did see Holly Holm, who she came out, she's ready to go, but a lot of people are questioning if she should be moving forward at 42 years old. So we'll get his thoughts on that and a whole lot more. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message is brought.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a
construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
It's going to be extremely tough for Miami to get out and get a big lead to start the game. But the lucky thing is they'll be doing it at home. They'll have the fans rally behind them. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. You already know what Eric Spoelstra's going to do from a coaching standpoint. So it's going to be a tense game if I'm a Miami Heat fan.
It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, yes, Cy Riley with you this morning. We're going to start to open up this can. And that is, you hope your references have your back. And we watched, if you did, the Dynasty documentary about the New England Patriots, and there was definitely a slant to that. When it's Robert Kraft, the Patriots are pushing that. Bill Belichick might not be presented as the best figure in that dynasty, and it kind of was all about how everyone else other than Bill Belichick was awesome, and Bill Belichick just rubbed you the wrong way. Well, Robert Kraft definitely has lived up to that. A story dropped yesterday about the second winningest coach in NFL history who, he doesn't have a job right now. And we thought that Bill Belichick was going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And Bill Belichick addressed a lot of the concerns that people had. Look and go, man, Bill, the GM, has not been great, especially when it comes to offensive talent. Yeah, you had Tom Brady, but outside of that, they struggled to develop wide receivers. They struggled to develop skill position players. And so there was a question there. And then it gets to a point of, do you have too much control in an organization? Well, Bill Belichick went into his interview with the Atlanta Falcons, and he assured owner Arthur Blank that he was not seeking total control that he had for the majority of his time in New England. He said he would work with his existing group of decision makers, including the general manager that was there. And then, out of nowhere, Atlanta announces Raheem Morris as their new head coach. And Raheem Morris had spent time in Atlanta. He's coming off a very successful run the last couple of years as defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. And now he was the head coach of the Falcons. And the story that was dropped yesterday on ESPN by Don Bennata Jr., Seth Wickersham, and Jeremy Fowler, it points out that Arthur Blank was swayed by Robert Kraft. So Arthur Blank, of course, you're going to call your buddy Robert.
Yep.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? How's the billionaire life? Good? Same here. And Robert Kraft said, don't trust Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And to me, what did Bill Belichick do that Robert Kraft wants to grind that axe so more? After he's out of town, they moved on.
Yeah.
The Tom Brady era was over. They tried it with Mac Jones, one playoff appearance, not good the last years. It's why the Patriots have the number 3 overall pick. And so you've moved on. And Gerard Mayo in there. But yet still, Robert Kraft out there angling to get Bill Belichick. Was it really that bad?
I'm seeing Scottie Pippen versus Michael Jordan right now. Like,
who wants the credit type of stuff?
Like, who was the key factor? Obviously, Michael Jordan considered one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. But Scottie Pippen felt a little hurt. So in this situation, I'm looking at a Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft's like, why is this guy getting all the love and all the credit? I'm the owner, and then I
hired Bill. I made sure Tom stuck
around. Then you let the golden boy, the golden child, Tom Brady walk, and then he gets the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. If I'm Robert Kraft, I'm a little hurt. So I can see exactly why he did this. Owners will be owners. They'll talk with each other. They'll make the decisions that they make, together. But I can see how Bill Belichick would be blindsided. Like, dude, I worked for you. I worked with you. I worked in tandem with you. We created a Super Bowl winning culture. Like, why would you do this behind my back? And Bill's, he's not gonna worry about it because there's always gonna be a shot for him somewhere. Just not this season. I'm looking at a possible New York Jets job if Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers can't get it done this year. I think that would be a nice thing for him to go within the division to a team that's very close and give the Patriots some more problems on that end. But
right now, the Jets are going to win more games than the Patriots.
Yeah.
Patriots have some work to do because the Jets are all in because Aaron Rodgers is the answer to every single question for that team. When we come back on the other side, we'll look at what this means for Bill Belichick. Now, Arthur Blank listened to Robert Kraft. Now, every owner is different. While they're buddy-buddy, it's their league, they run everything. There's the owners that are defiant. There's the other owners that say, no, I will make this work. Is there a spot for Bill Belichick in the NFL moving forward? Got to figure that out next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Discover. As humans, we like having options.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2600 2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
Well, the debate will be, are you great yet? And every great coach has had a great player. That's how it goes. Players make plays. Would Tom Brady have been Tom Brady without Bill Belichick? And vice versa. You just heard Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen brought up Phil Jackson. He parlayed that into then working with Kobe Bryant and Shaq. You don't have great coaches without great players. Which side are you on? I'm usually leaning towards the players because I've watched Greg Popovich the last few seasons and it ain't been great. And he's a fantastic coach, right?
Yep.
But when you don't have Tim Duncan or Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, things don't look different. But it also doesn't mean you can't coach. And that's what is fascinating about the Bill Belichick stuff. We're talking 24 seasons in New England. The work he did with Tom Brady, but then Tom Brady bounces town, goes and wins the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, and you're left with that mess in New England. And so I can understand how Robert Kraft could look at Bill and go, man, we went through so much, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what happened. When we thought Bill Belichick was going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Robert Kraft, who spoke with Arthur Blank by phone multiple times, said, don't trust that man. Now, publicly, Kraft and Blank both expressed support for Bill Belichick, but here we are.
Yeah.
And it was an offseason where there were a lot of jobs open. Bill Belichick wanted to coach football. He thought he was going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And now he's the TV personality.
Yeah.
Will Bill Belichick be a head coach in the NFL again?
I would say yes, given the resume. There's always going to be a team and some owners that are like, okay, we need somebody who's been there before. Because it's hard to win a Super Bowl with nobody that's been there before, nobody that has playoff experience, nobody that knows how to deal with the Super Bowl, nobody knows what it takes to get there. So I think that one day, sooner than later, he'll get a job working for an NFL franchise. That job might come next year. In my eyes, I look at the New York Jets because Robert Saleh's been there for the past couple of years.
So they fall short of expectations.
They fall short of expectations all the time.
Do you think Rodgers has 2 years in him? Like, would he be going in with Aaron Rodgers?
I think he would have. I think he would have Aaron Rodgers. The thing that makes this interesting is the Jets have had an amazing defense the past couple of years, and Bill Belichick is a defensive-minded coach. His defenses always perform well. He won 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants as the defensive coordinator. So it's going to be an interesting time frame and time period for him not being the controlling head football coach of a team. I think Robert Kraft kind of relishes the fact that I made you. I put this power that you had in your hands and you overstepped your boundaries. So I feel like that's kind of the reason why that, he was talking to Arthur Blank. Don't write that check. Don't write that check for Bill Belichick.
He's Cy Riley, JJ Buck with you. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. I do believe Bill Belichick will get another chance, and I'm with you. I think it will be a team that is close.
Yeah.
That feels like they came up short, and I think the Jets are fascinating. Now, a lot of times we see teams do a 180, because what was Robert Saleh? Defense coordinator, defensive coach.
Yeah.
And so would they be looking at it through that lens or just looking at it, hey, we want to pair the final year or so of Rodgers with a championship caliber head coach? I thought we could have actually seen it this year in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry Jones, who has proven, maybe to a fault for some people, that he is loyal.
Yeah.
And we saw it. Why am I blanking on the coach before Mike McCarthy? Just told.
Jason Garrett?
Jason Garrett. I'm like, I see him sitting on the NBC set right now. I was thinking Jason Peters. I'm like, no, he's not a giant offensive lineman. Jason Garrett in that run.
Yeah.
And now he's doing it with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
But I thought, if you have a team that you feel is not living up to their potential in the postseason, who would you call?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And I do think Bill gets one more shot in the NFL. He's been surprised. Like, watching his interview on Pat McAfee yesterday, that was really good. Like, he was open. And I think with anyone, even if you're Bill Belichick and you have the Super Bowl rings, whoever it was, they did it together. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. You do something for a certain way for so long.
Yeah.
It's hard to change. It's hard to say, yeah, I'm not going to be the same person.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the biggest things reading that ESPN story that came out to me. Not just the backstabbing that goes on, whatever, because people have egos. That's going to happen. It was that Bill was acknowledging, I will step away from some of these GM duties. You know, decision-making wise, he's still going to be there, but he was willing to be more open.
Yeah.
To working with other people. And I think that, to me, that was my biggest takeaway, because I think that will make him much more appealing moving forward to teams.
I think in his mind, it's like, why didn't I get that job? You know, and he met with Arthur Blank twice, once on the super mega yacht that he has. So it's like, why didn't I get that job? And in his mind, it could be, okay, maybe they perceive me as a disgruntled, unhappy head football coach of a Super Bowl winning organization. So maybe I got to take a step back. Maybe I got to reevaluate myself. Maybe I got to relinquish some duties, some power, control issues that I have, and let that be the GM's job. Maybe my job is to be the head football coach of a team, and that's all I got to do.
So if you pair Bill Belichick with a solid front office and a team, who could that be? It's not this season. So if you're looking at teams that could fall short of expectations and be a good landing spot for Bill Belichick after this year, what squad is that? 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. When we come back on the other side, since we have Cy Riley with us, just got out of that world, the transfer portal, NIL, I want to bring up the conversation that the fans are having about how should you feel as a fan when it comes to college athletics these days. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
Blowing up Jeff's email. You haven't noticed he's not reading those this week because he's not here. So we'll get to those on Monday. If you have anything you'd like to say to me, well, hit me up on the email. You can also find me on the X_JJBuck. Before we dive into college athletics, there's a lot I want to break down. With the official ruling that came out yesterday that no one has to sit anymore. You can transfer as much as you want. You can play at 4 schools in 4 years if you want. It's officially official. And people's heads are spinning. Those people who's driving to work that might have just swerved a little bit in their car because they can't handle what's going on in college athletics. We're going to talk about that with someone that was just in it as the world was blowing up the walls.
Yeah.
NIL, transfer portal. But we have been talking about Bill Belichick. And we have a texter that, hey, doesn't agree with what we were saying when it comes to Bill Belichick. First text in is, the Bill Belichick story is a case study that proves that being an intolerable a-hole is bad no matter how good at what you are. You guys keep making excuses for Belichick because he was a successful coach, but he was an absolute a-hole to his players, to the press, and to his bosses. You can't do that and expect to keep getting jobs. Well, my pushback is that was, why do you believe that hook, line, and sinker? Because he was mean to the press? Okay. Because he's around Cincinnati. He didn't give good press conferences. Every single coach is going to have people that are for them and against them. Some coaches are going to be loved a lot more. And Bill Belichick had a style that was much more of the, you're either for him or against him. And I don't buy that hook, line, and sinker just because he had bad press conferences. Yeah, were there players and people in that facility that probably didn't like Bill Belichick? Yes. That's with so many coaches in so many places. Because I'll also point out the stories where, especially coming off the Dynasty documentary that just came out and people are watching over the last few months, that there were former Patriots players that were like, hold up, I don't like how it's presented in that, because while we were talking about things, I don't feel that way about Bill Belichick. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
So I don't buy that hook, line, and sinker. I buy that was Bill Belichick an a-hole? Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it, that there's
Yeah.
certain coaches you're just like, dude,
Yeah.
like, what's up?
Yeah.
But that also isn't the whole story.
Yeah, once you start winning Super Bowls, you got to do what you got to do to get back to the big game. And so, yeah, he might have been a little bit against the media.
He ain't everyone's cup of tea.
He might have been a little bit more controlling than other NFL head coaches, especially because he's making GM decisions as well. He's wearing two different hats. So you're going to see that and you're going to think, okay, yeah, he has a little bit of entitlement issues. Yeah, he's a little bit, mean and aggressive to his players. But the thing is, you got to do what you got to do to win Super Bowls. And then number two, do your stars like you? Tom Brady stuck around there for decades because number one, because of the opportunity that he had to win championships. Number two, for the money. But number three, the scheme that Bill Belichick was able to build around him. I think Randy Moss, there was a time in his, football life that they were having a Halloween party and Randy Moss strolls into Bill Belichick's office and he's like, I shouldn't be asking Bill this and I don't know what the guy's going to think. And he tells Bill Belichick, yeah, some of the guys, and this is Randy Moss we're talking about, Hall of Famer, Randy Moss. He strolls into his office. He's like, yeah, me and a couple of guys, we're thinking about doing a little Halloween party, in his accent, Halloween party with a couple of the costumes. And, we love for you to come down and do all this stuff. And Bill Belichick sits back and he's like, yeah, I think that'd be a great time. Who doesn't love candy? And he comes dressed up as a pirate with his wife, so it's just like.
And that's the case with anything. Like, is Bill Belichick a saint in this? No. But I also don't buy a hook, line, and sinker that he can't change a little bit.
Yeah.
And that just because there were some problems there doesn't mean there were problems with everyone.
Yeah.
I think we've all been around someone. And usually, and I'm the guy that will definitely tell you, you can't compare what you do every day to the athletics world because it's completely different. But this is one you can compare because we're talking about like off the field.
Yep.
In a front office,
yeah,
in a facility.
Relationships.
That's similar. Relationships. That's
Yeah.
something we all can relate to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's been someone that you're around that he's an a-hole.
Yeah.
Don't like that guy. But it works. And
Yeah.
other people don't feel that way
Yeah.
about the exact person.
Yep.
That's Bill Belichick.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we've seen the stuff with the media. We hear what some of the players are saying, but it goes on both sides. And Tom Brady, at the end, did he feel a little worn down? Yeah, I'm sure after, how many years was that? Like close to 20 years?
I think 18, 19.
Even when you're having that success,
Yeah.
you're going to feel a little worn down with someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't buy that entire narrative, hook, line, and sinker, that, well, yeah, he was an a-hole to everyone, he shouldn't get a job. I think there's a lot more gigantic ego involved with what you were talking about, Cy, of Robert Kraft going, I deserve just as much credit as anyone else. This is my football team. I hired Bill Belichick. I made sure that Tom Brady stuck around. And I think some of it, too, is probably Robert Kraft is bitter
Yeah.
that he didn't get Tom till the very end.
Yeah.
That he let Bill Belichick, quote unquote, get rid of Tom. But I think Tom was ready to leave there, too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't think that was one that's like Robert Kraft could have stopped.
Yeah.
Tom Brady leaving town.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you beat a lot of teams, you're going to make a lot of people very angry. You win a lot of football games. People don't want to see you in the championship, winning Super Bowls. They don't want to see the same matchups over and over and over again. So you're going to get a lot of disgruntled fans and, his opportunities and chances with Tom Brady, they came and they went. And Robert Kraft kind of hoped that they didn't go and that he stayed a Patriot until life. And, sometimes that's just not how the ball drops. Like you can't stay there forever. Tom Brady left. I think what made him even more upset is that Tom Brady left and then won another Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so, yeah, it's a tough deal, but Bill Belichick, he'll be back in the NFL. Obviously it wasn't this time, this season, this particular offseason, but next offseason, there will be some teams that will want his services.
Like someone's not going to be swayed by Robert Kraft.
Yeah, no.
Like there's going to be an owner that is not like, okay.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden not get hired. Like Jerry Jones ain't going to be taking a phone call from Robert Kraft and being told what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's other owners like that.
And there are going to be some owners. I'm sure there are owners that don't like Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
So you're going to get, again, it goes back to relationships. Who do you know? How much do you value their input, and what's their perspectives on things, and why are they saying the things that they're saying? If Robert Kraft is saying that, oh, don't trust Bill Belichick because, everybody's giving him the props for what they were able to cultivate and not giving, him props, is because he's bitter, and they're not looking at his resume. And again, you could look and listen to Robert Kraft and be like, okay, this dude, he probably told him a little on that get to know on the inside of them butting heads and things like that. And rightfully so. When you're dealing with somebody for a long time, it's bound to happen.
Yeah. You would love what, the Andy Reid model. It feels like everyone's bought in. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's not one size fits all. And while you kind of love that kumbaya, it's all good. I think most athletes, that's what you want. You want the buy-in, the good vibe, but then sometimes there's going to be this uneasy situation. But is it too much?
Yeah.
And that's the question you're asking with Bill Belichick. Which side do you believe? Is it that he was the a-hole to absolutely everyone? Now it's coming back to bite him? Or was he the guy, like I think a lot of coaches were, that was playing both sides?
Yeah.
Like, when you're rolling, it's good. Maybe you get on the bad side for a little bit, and then it's really bad.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the clash. To me, that's kind of like the classic way I think of a head coach.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can be on the good side or bad side, depending on what happens.
I mean, look at Butler in the Super Bowl. He gets the interception on the 2-yard line against the Seattle Seahawks. And then again, the very next year, it's like, what happened to him? Like, why is he not playing in the game? So, you're going to, from an outside perspective, because we're all outsiders, we don't know, what their relationship's like. From the outside, we can kind of get in our heads a little bit, question and make assumptions about, the character of guys. But again, that's the work relationship that they might have just had, where Bill Belichick had a little bit more control over the players and the coaches than Robert Kraft would have liked. But again, Robert Kraft put it in his hands, put the keys in his hands. And can you blame Bill Belichick for taking them and opening up doors? You can't. You can't.
Bill Belichick, would you want him as the head coach of your football team, and where could he go after this year? I think the Jets could be an interesting situation if they don't live up to expectations. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys, too. I think Jerry Jones, that would be something he'd love to do at the end. I know Jerry's a little busy, too, now, making sure that Arkansas can get all the players. We're going to talk about that coming up next on the other side. Name, image, and likeness. The transfer portal. So yesterday, NCAA, the council made it official. They made it immediate eligibility for transfers who are academically eligible in good standing at their previous school to move on. So we're talking a player could play in 4 different places over 4 years of their college career. How does a student athlete feel about that? Cy Riley was there when these things were exploding on the scene, the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness. And what does it mean for the fans? Because I know plenty of you out there have voiced your frustration, have questioned, how do I be a fan if I don't get to know who these student athletes are? We're going to dive into that next. It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Name, image, and likeness. We know that's essentially morphed in the pay-per-play. You don't have to do the car commercials. You don't have to do this or that. Like, you're getting your money from your collective to be a student athlete. Got it. Kind of the way a lot of people said it should have been anyway. The transfer portal. It's open. They give it, and it taketh away. And now you could see players actually play at 4 different schools in 4 years. And there's a lot of frustration from fans on that. Trying to wrap your head around why. Well, you know why? Because college athletics yes, there's kind of that special aura to it. It's big business. And even as student athletes who are on scholarship, they're part of that big business. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley, just wrapped up in 4 years at the University of New Mexico, linebacker for the Lobos. He was in it as all this stuff was exploding onto the scene. Name, image, and likeness was taking over, the transfer portal. And he said at UNM for 4 seasons. No, it was the right decision for himself. But for so many other players, you know, the new system isn't just all about you're unhappy, so you leave. Oh, the coach yelled at me today, I'm leaving. That's happening sometimes, but it's not what it's 100% about. And I think what the battle is moving forward is, how do you accept the new normal as fans? Because we get it a lot here, you know, because Lobo fans, like anywhere else, you know, they're passionate. Like, this has been their thing.
Yeah.
You know, Division I athletics, really, you know, New Mexico State, in terms of what we have a direct connection to at some of the highest levels, it's those sports. And so you have that deep connection to the university. And it's because it's the way it was, is you watch a player for 3 or 4 years and you get to know them and you go with them and you fall in love with them. And that's not there anymore. But the one thing I will say is, if it takes you time to buy into the new normal, just understand that the moment a player is playing for you, yes, maybe it is because of NIL, I mean, whatever it is, when they put on that jersey, they still have to put in the work.
Yeah.
They still have to show up day in and day out, stay eligible, put in the hard work to be a difference maker. So if it's 1 year, if it's 2 years, it's 4 years, be all in for your team. That's the only way I can tell you. Because if you're sitting back going, well, I want to see someone grow for 4 years. Cy Riley, you're the exception to the rule now.
Yeah. The key word that is getting off with a lot of people that we need to understand is loyalty. There is less loyalty in college football. Now, let me tell you why. Because it's warranted. Beforehand, before the transfer portal became as prominent as it is now, before NIL, if a coach had great success with the program, brought it from the brinks of the dark caves of, you know, Gotham City, like if a coach turned around a program and created a winning program and was able to cultivate an entire audience of fans and the community and the university, upper tier school, Power 5, you know, would come in. Maybe it could even be a SEC or, you know,
he's getting a
USC.
pay raise and moving on.
And he's gone. And then you're left with these kids that are like, okay, what am I going to do? Who are you bringing in? And now their chances to go to the next level, to go professional, might not be the same because that success that they had is now gone. So now you bring in the NIL and the transfer portal. The kids are just doing what the coaches are doing. You know, if a coach leaves to find a better opportunity for himself and his family, well, then that's what these players are doing. They're putting themselves up in the best possible position so that they can make money for their finances, their future finances, and give themselves an opportunity to play against better competition, quote unquote, better competition, so that they can get better looks from NFL draft scouts. Like that's what it is. So when you look at, when I talk about the word loyalty, yeah, there are going to be there's going to be a lot more guys that jump around from school to school. Mm-hmm. That's not because they don't like the place that they're at. That's not because they don't love the fans and the community. It's just in their eyes, there are better opportunities for them.
And I think the challenging thing, too, as a fan is, what are you rooting for? And because of that. Yeah. And it is if, you know, my team is good, everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to help keep it around.
Yeah.
And so I understand some of that frustration of thinking you're going to lose everything right there. But with the point you just brought up, you know, if a coach leaves, it's few and far between that you're able to keep that continuity and keep that success at this level. So what does that mean for the players? Well, the players are going to look for that opportunity. And also let's, you know, we'll pull back the curtains a little bit. And we've heard stories about it. It's nothing new. Like, there's zero protection for the players.
Yeah.
With the new coaching staff.
Yeah.
Or even being at a school, because scholarship's not a 4-year guarantee.
No,
it's year to year, and
don't-
that's not breaking any
Yeah.
news. That's stories we have discussed.
Yeah.
And so for a student athlete, you could still want to do the right thing, but a new coaching staff comes in and goes, "You're not one of our guys. You're not
Yeah.
our style."
Yeah.
And then so student athletes used to be penalized for that. If you transfer, you have to sit out a year. Well, why should I lose a year of eligibility
Yeah.
because, I just might not fit that specific system? So right now it feels like, everything is just in favor of the student athlete. That's all they can do right now is have that immediate year of eligibility, because that is the one difference. You come into a pro team, you have contracts. Yeah, you want to cut someone.
Yeah.
Well, they've gotten X amount of their salary, and they might be owed whatever this is.
Yeah.
That's not the case with the student athlete, man. If you don't renew their scholarship, they're just out in the cold.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit different now. Whereas before it was about graduating and earning a degree and playing for a university and making a name for yourself. Now it's about making money. And not to say that that's a bad thing. It's just it's a different playing field. It's a different game that you have to learn. So if I'm a college athlete and a coach isn't messing with me, he's telling me, okay, I think it's in the best interest for both of us to go, our separate ways, you to find a new home. He's doing what's in the best interest for himself. He wants to bring in another guy that he views as a better talent than you and can serve him and the rest of the coaching staff and the program better than you can, so that he can make more money for his family. And then you as the player, you got to decide, okay, is this the type of situation where I try and fight against him and, prove him wrong? Or can I go into the transfer portal and find one of these homes that they gave away from, they took from someone else and now they're giving to me, and hopefully use that to the best of my advantage?
Here's something I want you to think about, Cy, as we go to break.
Yeah.
Because it's the question that I think a lot of fans have now, and it's, do the players care as much as I do? Do the players love the cherry and silver as much as I do, or whatever the school color is, as much as I do this day and age? And why should I, as a fan, continue to believe in those guys when this is the new world we live in? Think about that question, because I want you to bring that up, because I know that's in the back of a lot of people's minds of, do these dudes, do these players even care if they're just bouncing around all these schools? And why should fans continue to support these athletes? He's Cy Riley, JJ Bucket's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610D, Sports App.
This report is brought to you by Malloy.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
you should be all in that one because they decided to put on your jersey. Maybe it's because they got $10, $20, $30,000, whatever it may be. Still showing up to perform and play for the university you're rooting for, but it's a wild time. So during the break, I pulled up the women's basketball transfer portal numbers because that's something that I look at a lot. As voice of the UNM women's basketball team matters to me. I'm always looking at the transfer portal. I'm interested in the game overall, what's going on in the Mountain West Conference. I'm like, do you know how many players, and the number is actually bigger than the post. Right now in just women's basketball, there's 1,238 players in the transfer portal.
Jeez.
And that, even we're just sitting here having the conversation for the last 15 minutes, and you're talking about player movement and that number, even you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I am.
Are you ready for how many players entered the football transfer portal over the last few months?
I'm going to assume 3,500.
Okay, that's a good guess. You went a little high. 2,627.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
Student athletes in the transfer portal. So that's, when you hear those numbers, I can understand it. As a fan, like, it's just crazy. Like, what's going on? What are we doing now? I would expect that number to be bigger in football.
Yeah,
you're talking 85 scholarship players. So many movements. But when you hear fans kind of struggle with their fandom because of what's going on, what would you say to the Lobo fan right now that is kind of like, don't like name, image, and like this, don't like the transfer portal, but it's here? So what would you say to them?
I think the first thing is we still care about the game. There are a lot of football players that love to play football and want to win and do all the things that any football player does. So there's still that out there. Now, there's just different components. There's a financial aspect. There's the community aspect. New Mexico's a great place. I don't think Lobo Nation should be worried or afraid people don't want to come here.
And I think you are a great example of this.
Yeah.
California kid, Inglewood, committed to New Mexico when you didn't even get to play in the state of New Mexico your freshman season.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, you guys were in Vegas, and you stuck around for 4
Yeah.
years. So that's a credit to the community.
So there's a lot of things here that, besides just football that us players want to stay with. And it's hard to leave something when you're familiar with it, when you're growing within it. I was 17 when I came here. I'm 21 now. I played 4 football seasons. I've had 4 surgeries. Like, this is the place where I wanted to be. And so, yeah, you're still going to get that. Now, the difference is with transfer portal, you're going to have guys that come here for maybe a semester. You're going to have guys that maybe stick around for a year. And that's because their motives might be, I'm chasing the bag. Some of their motives might be, I'm looking to go pro. So it's all about stepping stones. Are they using UNM as a stepping stone, as a platform to propel themselves elsewhere?
Isn't that what you're kind of doing, regardless? If you're a student, if you're a coach, if you're a student athlete, it's part of your process.
And I would love that if I'm a Lobo fan, because I would want players that want to go, that want to be better. I want them to come here. I want us to have a excellent season, a fantastic season. I want their talent to be on display. I want their showcase. I want us to win football games. And yeah, it hurts that they leave to go somewhere else. But if you have, I guess, essentially, if you have a consistent pattern that you can, cultivate players and develop players, that New Mexico is a place for that, then you're going to attract more talent and you're just going to have a consistent level of winning. So, I wouldn't worry if I'm a, UNM fan. And that's just that.
I know with the stories breaking and the transfer portal being as open as it's ever been. Like, you can be in 4 places in 4 years. That might not actually be the best thing for a student athlete, but you have to go through and you're still learning lessons. You're still figuring things out. You hope that more times than not, you have the right people in your corner that are helping you make the right decision in all this. But it is something, as we move forward, this is the world. And if you're a college sports fan, like, it's not breaking. There's going to be some bumps in the road as you just try to iron everything out of who what are the school's role when it comes to a collective? Are you at the mercy of hoping that you have enough really rich fans that want to contribute to a collective to pay student athletes to come to your school? Because you just were telling me a story that's popping out there on social media about Arkansas. So John Calipari goes, and I think a lot of people, if you just took away everything and said, man, John Calipari went from Kentucky to Arkansas, why would you do that? What's money? Yeah. And the way the game is played, it's unlike anything before. It used to, have your big-time boosters that would help out with your facilities, money, all those things. Now it can go directly to the players, and that's a game changer. And it's not just that John Calipari is friends with the Tyson Chicken dude. Yeah. Jerry Jones is an Arkansas alum. Yeah. And the report was that Jerry Jones is
offering double
to the players that were committed to Kentucky. So we're talking some of those top 100 kids that were going to Kentucky. He's saying, we will double your NIL deal. Come to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the other part to it. It's not, which can always be a touchy word with whatever we're talking about. Loyalty with, it's all right, players are transferring in and out. How's your team ever supposed to be in a world?
Yeah. If you can develop players, if you're a space where players can come in, and it might hurt that they're only going to be here for a year, and that you only have to, relish in that success maybe once a year. Next year a little bit more uncertain. But if you have a consistent process of that happening, then more times than not, you're going to be okay. And as a Lobo fan, if somebody from Wisconsin transfers in here, someone from Iowa transfers in here, someone from USC, UCLA transferred to New Mexico, you might look at them like, oh, okay, why are they coming here? Like, don't have that thought, because then, in your mind, you're automatically assuming the worst, that we don't deserve them. No, they come here. We're going to play a fantastic football season coming up. We're going to play extremely hard, passionate. We're going to win football games. And some of them might leave after that. Some of them might stay. Some of them might like the culture that they came into. Some of them might like the development process that they went under the new coaching staff. And that's okay too, because then that's how loyalty is built. You're loyal to the university, to the experiences that you've had, the, funny moments, the fun moments, the sad moments, the moments that make you angry watching the games, attending the games. Like, all that stuff is real. And these players, when they come here, they're going to feel that. They're going to feel that. And if they decide, okay, someone's going to pay me a little bit more to go experience these things at a different place, that's okay, because not all the time those players are going to leave too. Some of them are going to stay. And then guess what? We get more transfers from Wisconsin and Iowa and USC and UCLA, because their buddies are like, oh, yeah, come here. They help me go to wherever. And then you're going to have a consistent turnaround of winning football.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. We come back on the other side. How big are the next 2 seasons for Lobo football? Because there's still a giant question mark with the Pac-2. And are they going to try to rebuild that conference? And then also the super conference talk. It's out there.
Yeah.
And they want to officially divide college athletics. So more so now than ever, you got to find a way to get some dubs. How do the Lobos do that? We'll dive into that next here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Juicy Juice. Juicy Juice is 100% juice, which means juicy.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. attention, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most.
Get your bag. What you doing? JJ Buck, Cy Riley, former Louisville linebacker with you here on the opening drive. 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. 505-246-0610. We're talking about the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness. What it's like being in it as a student athlete, and then wrapping your mind around it as a fan, because this is the new era of college athletics. Let's go to the phones. Jeff, you're on the opening drive. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, JJ, how are you doing this morning?
Good, man.
No, I've usually call in when Jeff's around, and, I text Jeff a lot, play a lot of golf with him. But, just so everybody knows, because, I work both sides of the field. I worked for CBS Sports Network for, 12 years, both in New York and L.A., so I saw the money side of it. But I started my career playing football in college, and so I'm from New Mexico. Got a perfect example. Got recruited, wanted to play in the Southwest Conference back when the Southwest Conference was big time. Instead of, I ended up going to SMU in Dallas, which Ron Meyer was turning the program around. When I got there as a freshman, there were 8 of us that were blue chip All-American running backs, right? We were good running backs. But there were 2 sophomores, Eric Dickerson and Craig James. And so I realized very quickly that I'm going to be stuck, running second, third string for the next 3 or 4 years behind these, future Hall of Famers. It was great. But that wasn't why I transferred back. Ron Meyer was a great coach. We went 10-1 or 10-0, went to the Southwest Conference, went to the Cotton Bowl, and he ended up going to the NFL the next year. New coaches come in, just like you guys were talking about. New coaches come in, all new players come in. They bring in their own strategy, and all of a sudden the Ron Meyer guys, if you weren't Eric Dickerson, we were kind of like left behind, and there was no place for us to go. So I ended up transferring back here with Joe Morrison. We turned the program around. I did have to redshirt and sit out a year because you didn't have an open portal. We then go 10-1 here. I was on the 82 team, and then Joe Mo gets the South Carolina job, and he leaves, and now I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere because I've already transferred. And so my point is, I played 5 years of Division I football. I had 4 head coaches in 5 years. And so the coaches can move freely. The universities and the networks are making billions of dollars. And so really, I tell people, this has just made it it's kind of make it more evenly for the players. And yes, we're going to lose players sometimes every year. We're going to gain players every year. You just saw the third string quarterback for the UNM, 2 days ago, jump in the portal. Well, it's not that he doesn't like it here. Bronco just announced he's bringing in another quarterback, right? And so it's giving players options to move on, because let's not BS anybody. It's about winning, and it's about money. That's all it is. This isn't amateur sports. It's never been amateur sports. And I tell people all the time, you have to compare the portal and NIL like the Olympics. Years ago, people don't remember this, our Olympians weren't allowed to be paid. The minute they made $1, they were not considered amateurs anymore. And the top athletes, they would run one Olympics and move on. So they had to make a living. Now all the Olympians are paid athletes. And you see these athletes sticking around for 40 years. I mean, till they're 40, performing. Yep. So I believe it's just given an opportunity for players to move around and have options just like the coaches, universities, and everybody else does.
Jeff, I really appreciate the phone call. We're at the top of the hour, but that's really good insight. And those are the things that we're discussing, breaking down and moving forward in the future of college athletics. JJ Buck, Cy Riley. It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's time. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
The future is now. How do you build? How do you win? You got to get some dubs on the board, as things are not done changing in college athletics. The opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. What it do, everyone? Thanks for joining us today. JJ Buck with Cy Riley, former Lobo linebacker. Jerry Wright with you producing this morning. Jade Adrian on ProView Networks as well. You can find us there. Online, find us on Facebook, on Catch Channel 26. All over the place. The Lobo football, new era underway as well. Bronco Mendenhall coming in, taking over the program. And one of the questions that was thrown out there, and this came from Terry on the text line, and he wanted to know how important is the next 2 years for Lobo football? It's huge. Mm-hmm. It's very important. Now, with everything that's going on in college athletics, it's transfer portal, it's name, image, and likeness, but it's also the powers at the top are not hiding anymore that they want a bigger separation, and they want to keep all the money with them. And I'm talking Big Ten, SEC. It's what they're doing in college basketball. It's people floating out there, hey, you need to get rid of the automatic bids for these smaller conferences so more of the big teams can get in. It's Fox Sports creating a postseason tournament to take away from even the NIT, saying, hey, we're putting the Big East, ACC, SEC together, and all these 500 basketball teams are going to play in our tournament, postseason tournament. And then it's the stuff that's been talked about at high levels, floated out there, like a Super League, of taking the top 60 to 70 teams and splitting off. Like, these are conversations that are going on. And how do you stay in that conversation? Well, I don't know. You could go undefeated and still probably not even be in that conversation. That's just the reality of it. But you have to show a little bit more on the football field. And especially, I think the biggest thing right now, Super League or not, is what happens with that Pac-12 bank.
Oregon State and Washington State, my brother played at Washington State. They're top-of-the-line facilities. They have everything. Everything is great. Everything's great there. So you don't want it to be a case of, you bring in these two schools and they're just able to outperform every Mountain West. I don't expect that this year. Not only with the success that Coach Mendenhall is bringing to our program, but the success that we've been able to have in other universities, the Boise State, San Diego State. There's going to be a little bit of a challenge with them, Utah State. There's going to be a little bit challenge with for Oregon State and Washington State. Don't expect them to just come into our conference and run the table. Yes, granted, they were a Power 5 conference. The Pac-12 was a Power 5 conference, but it's not going to be the same. We're talking about realignment. It's always going to follow. College football is always going to follow the money. So you're going to have an opportunity here where you can grab all the smaller schools and create one giant, huge alliance to put ourselves in the best position to make money when we're talking about expanding the college football playoffs. Talking about having some seeds designated for, the smaller conferences, smaller schools, so that they're also able to hang around.
What do you make of the college football structure right now? Because we know there's the haves and have-nots. When it just comes to the money, what you're talking about, facilities, television money, do you like the expansion to 12?
I love it.
Do you feel that would give the schools a legit opportunity?
Yeah. Legit opportunity, I don't know if you can just
you can say that.
Open up the college football playoffs and say, hey, now everybody has a shot. No, that's not how it works. But I love it, opening it for better and more access for smaller schools, smaller conferences to get into the tournament. I think that's great. Now, if you're sharing money, from these TV networks, from these deals that you're cutting, sponsors with everybody throughout your conference, okay, that's cool. If the SEC and Big Ten, or if they're giving, a share of the sums, not taking 75% for themselves and then leaving 25 to figure the rest, everybody else to figure out the rest of the 25%. If that's not the case, then then this will be great for college athletics. But if it is, again, protecting the SEC and Big Ten schools and just having them, okay, we'll put them on buys, and then you guys, the smaller schools, pay, and whatever you make from, the amount of viewership that the smaller schools garner from their games, if that's what they're keeping, and then when we're playing against an Alabama or an Ohio State, and, those schools get the majority of the money, I don't think that's fair. But again, college football is changing, the landscape is changing, and as long as we're getting more inclusive, if we're coming to a equal place, the farther we stray from that, the worse it'll be.
505-246-0610. Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. You can get in. Really like the conversation that we've been having about just kind of wrap your head around the new era of college athletics. I know some fans are struggling. I don't know, why should I support this if players aren't going to support it? But there's so much more that goes on, behind the scenes with all of this that, the players having a little bit of power. It's not going to destroy the product. There's going to be some bumps in the road as they kind of figure out what direction it's going, but transfer portal can give it, and it can take it away. Do have some updates on that, because I know there was a lot of those questions when it comes to UNM women's basketball when they had 7 players enter the transfer portal. Well, the destination of a couple. Nia Wilson, who was just phenomenal, Mountain West Newcomer of the Year last year for New Mexico. Bit of a shocker, when she entered the transfer portal after the season. Well, she going to Missouri. So she's going to finish her collegiate career in the SEC after starting at Syracuse her first 2 seasons. Hannah Robbins, bummer didn't get to see her move forward. Of course, her dad, Rob Robbins, played at New Mexico, rocking Rob Robbins. There was a lot of excitement, hype there for Hannah. I know she entered the portal early in the year. She's going to Montana State. There's a connection because 2 years ago, Brooke Berry, who was a freshman at New Mexico, left after and all that stuff on campus went down. The shooting that was there on campus. She went to Montana State. So there's a connection there because Brooke Berry and Hannah Robbins came in as freshmen to UNM at the same time. So there's an update on the portal on the women's basketball side. Men's side, still no big updates on players that are coming in. But the biggest thing has been retention.
Yeah.
The fact that Donovan Dent, not going anywhere. JT Toppin, not going anywhere. Nelly Jr. Joseph announced he's coming back. Of course, you got True Washington. That's a pretty darn good core for Rich Pitino to build on. And then you have your wish list. Maybe bring in a bigger wing, a 6'6", 6'8" swing guy on the perimeter, some depth up front. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
Never sleep, man. Never sleep.
Yeah, and I think that's also a good thing because you don't want to be satisfied with what you have. You want to always be able to go out into the portal. And, thankfully, the ruling has decided that no matter how many times you transfer, somebody's available right away. So I think that'll be a great, thing for the coaches. So to also not have to worry about that. They're going to have people come in. They're going to be able to go into the portal, find key pieces that they feel and deem that will fit their team, fit their scheme, create better culture, winning culture, and continue the success that they've had so far.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. Coming up at 9:30, we're talking with Diego Sanchez. The new documentary by Charlie Min comes out on Friday about the life of Diego Sanchez, who he was inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I think it's a fascinating figure. Diego, such a known name, throughout the community here in Albuquerque and throughout the state of New Mexico. What he did being on the Ultimate Fighter 1, kind of being a part of that, explosion of the UFC into the mainstream, and all the things that he had overcome in his life. We'll talk with Diego coming up at 9:30. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Last year, you gave us books, and we gave you beer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Playing tournament. Jimmy Butler goes down. The Philadelphia 76ers come back in the second half. Nicholas Batum game. Defense, offense, off the bench, 20 points. Sixers beat Miami. The Philadelphia 76ers are the number 7 seed in the Eastern Conference. They'll take on the New York Knicks. And then it comes down to Bulls Heat for the 8th seed to play the Celtics. And that is now a coin flip game because Jimmy Butler is out. MCL injury. It could cost him several weeks. So even if Miami wins, they're not going to have him for the Boston Celtics. And so playoff Jimmy is gone.
Yep.
And that gives the Chicago Bulls a chance to go in there and at least be a full playoff team as the way DeMar DeRozan has played. But Kobe White, 42 points last night. Where did you come from?
Problem.
And that's going to be the challenge for the Heat. The same thing for the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans watched Zion Williams score 40 points, tie the game with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Lakers, and then hurt his hamstring. What if the ultimate tease that is Zion Williamson? And now the Sacramento Kings, I'm picking them in that game.
Yeah.
The way they looked, beating the Golden State Warriors, ending that era in Golden State, which I think that they officially did. I like Sacramento over New Orleans. The Heat can win that game. I do not have like a great feel on that game right now. I think Chicago can compete without Jimmy Butler, but that's a bummer. But that's sport.
Yeah, I think Duncan Robinson was available for the game last night. Eric Spoelstra decided not to play him. He's coming back from a back injury. I think it'll be hard for Miami to overcome not only Jimmy Buckets, but also Terry Rozier. He was also out with his neck injury. He's still dealing with that issue. So it's just hard to. There are two options. There are two scoring options. They're not going to have that. And then, of course, with New Orleans, no Zion, no rim presence, no pressure around the basket. That's going to be tough. Brandon Ingram, I expect him to play more minutes. They're going to need a better scoring output from C.J. McCollum, who didn't have a fantastic night the other night, a poor shooting night. So they're going to need these players. Trey Murphy, he's going to need to knock down at least four threes, stretch the floor a little bit. But if I'm De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and I see that there's no Zion, that's just an all-you-can-eat buffet.
He is Cy Riley, JJ Buck with you here on The Sports Animal. And so yesterday, the big talking point was, is this the end of an era? Yes or no with Golden State? You can answer that question. But then you ask, what is next? And as the Warriors did some of their exit interviews, final discussions with the media, Klay Thompson was discussing his future. And Klay Thompson is a free agent. Whereas Klay Thompson probably had one of the worst performances you could have if it is your final game somewhere.
Yeah.
Going 0 for 10 from the field.
Yeah.
Scoring 0 points in a winner-go-home basketball. Well, when Klay Thompson was asked about free agency yesterday, he said, quote, considering it's April 17th, I don't think I have to pivot that quickly. When it's free agency, July 1st, yeah, I got some time. Well, the Warriors, though, they've played good teammates and all this. Steve Kerr immediately after the game was talking about how important Klay Thompson is to the Warriors and that he still feels Klay has a lot of good basketball in front of him. Draymond Green said, quote, there isn't any scenario where Klay leaves, and that's the best decision for this team and organization. Well, Draymond, you're not the general manager. And, Klay Thompson appreciated it. He said, quote, it means a lot that his teammates have his back, all the things that they've been through, the highs and the lows. They came back from nowhere. They came back from a 15-win team when Klay Thompson had major injuries. And 2 years after that, won an NBA championship. But this is also 3 of the last 5 seasons, this team is not in the playoffs. Yeah. And when you're looking at what is the future of the Golden State Warriors, to me, everyone not named Steph Curry would be on the block.
Absolutely.
Yes, even you, Draymond. Because that's the situation. Because Steph Curry, I look at that guy and I said, yeah, there's still something left in that.
Yeah.
There's still a few good years of Steph Curry being able to play meaningful basketball.
Yeah.
But you have to retool absolutely everything around Steph. And that's the mindset I'm going into the offseason. If I'm the owner, Joe Lacob, I have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Going, all right, Steph, you're here. Everyone else, what can I get for you? What can you do that try to put together a team that can win multiple playoff series in the Western Conference?
The hardest thing about that would be Steph Curry's age. He's 37. If you shipped everybody off, with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, let him walk, it's going to be hard to figure out a new scheme, play with new players, do it the Golden State way, with entirely new group of people. These are his road dogs. And Klay Thompson, if he's willing to play 20 minutes max on some nights, if he's willing to be the second or third one off the bench, if that's the role he's willing to take, for, $14 million a year type of contract, then I can see them keeping him. Now, do they need to keep him? They don't, because there are some free agents out there, like we talked about yesterday. Paul George has the player option. There's Pascal Siakam with the Indiana Pacers. He's a free agent. He can walk. DeMar DeRozan with the Chicago Bulls. We saw what he did last night. He's a viable option to fill the space. You need another person on the Golden State Warriors that can score. Steph Curry is looking like he has, when he was playing against the Kings, he had to create everything for them. At times he was getting triple team. You can't have that. And you can't have that if I'm Steph Curry. Can't have that if I'm Joe Lacob. Can't have that if I'm Steve Kerr. I need a second option that can go get a bucket at any time in the game.
505-246-0610 is the phone number. Brew and James wants to get in this morning. Brew and James, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for taking my call. It's the Dubs, It's too bad, but, like they say, the only person that's undefeated is Father Time. So, it was coming to this, and then it was good while it lasted, and now let's say Vida Sane, Vaya con Dios, all that stuff to the Splash Brothers, and it was good while it lasted, and again, Father Time is undefeated, and so we just move on from there. Klay Thompson, loved his dad when he played with the Lakers. Thought they were, the Splash Brothers were awesome and everything, and it's hard to say goodbye, So, all right, have a good one, guys, and take care. I'll talk to you guys later.
It is, and it's the end of an era, and what you brought up, Sai, is right. Is can you change that much around Steph Curry and be successful? Because Steph Curry's not the type of player, like, he's not going to go and ask out from Golden State. He's not. He's going to ride this out until the end. Now, I would put everyone on the block. I do believe that Steph Curry and Draymond Green are going to be pieces that they move forward with, and then try to retool around that. Klay Thompson's a tough one, man, because when you've been through so much with someone, and then to look at him and go, peace out. Because do you want to up Klay Thompson for the money he's asking for? And then if you offer him a lower contract, he's going to be upset, and you start getting into, butting heads with Klay Thompson and the organization. But it's also just about maximizing what the best path forward is. And to me, everyone would be on the table, not named Steph Curry, to see what moves you could make. They're going to have to take a hit on Chris Paul's contract.
Yeah.
Like, you got to just get rid of that somehow.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't work. They're too old across the board.
Yeah.
For Chris Paul to even play, as even a Klay Thompson will at this point. Like, you can't have both those guys on your roster expecting a 20, 25 minutes game.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to figure it out, because at this point we've been seeing, I'm going to coin the term, splashes of the Splash Brothers. Like, you can't have that if you're having Stephen Curry on the floor. And he's, again, with Klay Thompson back in the day, we never would see them double and triple team Steph Curry, because you're afraid of the dude wearing number 11 hitting a wide open three in the corner, and now your team's down 16, like, in 2 minutes. Like, it's just that those times were unreal, and now they're unrealistic. You can't go into these games expecting what you saw in the past. And so, they need to figure out a way to move off of one or both of those contracts. And again, like I said, either if they really care about the system, not changing that much for Steph Curry, who's now 37, then they'll keep Klay Thompson, but they'll have to give him around $10 to $14 million. And some nights he's going to play 10 minutes. Some nights he might play 15 minutes.
It's like this year when he was removed from the starting lineup.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reality of the situation moving forward for Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. But I feel that there's enough left in Steph, but can they do enough to maximize? In Western Conference, for now, if you look at the next 2 to 3 years, the top of the Western Conference isn't going anywhere.
No, it's not.
And so that's the challenge. When you look at those teams, how do we win a series? How do we win 2 series to be a Western Conference Finals team once Again, 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Coming up on the other side, we're scheduled to talk with Diego Sanchez, the MMA veteran, former UFC fighter, where there's a documentary by Charlie Mann coming out on the life of Diego Sanchez. It's theaters tomorrow. We're going to talk with Diego coming up next here on the Sports Animal.
Last year, you gave...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear.
I'm sharing the stories in college athletics, something else fun, as was evident by the end of the season. What a ride it was that week in Vegas for the Lobo men's basketball team, winning 4 games, cutting down nets, going to the NCAA tournament. That's what you're in for. Enjoy those moments in college athletics. It helps kind of refill the hope meter for a fan. And while there's some questions and challenges ahead, I still have faith in the future of college athletics. And I appreciate the conversation this morning, the insight from Cy Riley, who's joining us, sitting in after just wrapping up 4 years of playing Division I football. JJ Buck with you here on The Sports Animal. Wrapping your head around the new normal, discussing how and why we got here. Part of it, too, was the NCAA was just so reluctant for so long to ever make any changes on anything, that instead of being in a position where, things could gradually change, it was just like, boom, here it is all at once. Deal with it. Yep. Now we're dealing with it. 505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. The NFL draft is a week from today. First round of the NFL draft next Thursday night. The Washington Commanders had a bit of a quarterback party. They brought in 4 different prospects at once. Who knows the reason why? Was it because the owner, Josh Harris, just wanted to be there for all the visits and they wanted to line it up on the same day? I have no idea. But when you were going on recruiting visits, were you there with other people or was it?
No, I was there with other people.
Yeah. So they're used to that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a little weird when you're Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and Michael Penix.
Whoa.
Who all show up on the same day to the Commander's facility.
Okay.
They're like, all right, guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, that vibe's got to be so interesting. Are you competing even in that setting?
That's got to be a mental game. Like,
so
who's the big dog?
You're just walking in.
Yeah.
And then I guess if you're Bo Nix, you're like, where's my invite, man? The Oregon quarterback. You didn't get that call.
Yeah.
Of course, the Commanders have the number 2 overall pick. I'm a Jaden Daniels guy.
Okay.
I love the athleticism, throws that he can make. Did you? I'm trying to think of when you guys played LSU.
I played against Jaden.
You played against Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
So you've seen him.
I've seen him.
Like you've watched the tape, you've studied for him, been on the field with him.
Yeah.
I think he's the number 2 overall pick, and I also think you can overanalyze things at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because there's so much analytics out there that I've started to see kind of the sway the other way. Like people saying, well, Jaden Daniels took too many sacks. He did not complete things under pressure. I think we're kind of getting to that point of the NFL draft process where it's an overanalysis of a player's game. I love him at number 2. But first, what do you think of what it would be like walking into that facility with 3 other quarterbacks? You're like, all right, guys, what's up?
That's why I say that's probably a mental test by the Washington Commanders. I'm not sure that they're super certain on their guy if they're bringing in all 4 of those guys at one time. But maybe it's just, again, they take these crazy tests at the NFL Combine. Like they're giving crazy answers to different situations. So if they bring all 4 of them in, if I'm one of those guys, I'm like, okay, we're trying to see who's the alpha male, who's quiet, who's embracing, the rest of the guys, who's trying to separate himself. So if I'm Washington Commanders, I can see it makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense to bring all 4 of them in.
And it's one of those things, you
have fun with them.
Yeah, have fun with it. It's not too bad. Because that was the whole thing with CJ Stroud. Like, he didn't test well, and it's like, whatever, that dude's a baller.
Yeah.
I just watched him at Ohio State to watch what he did with Houston last year. So there's certain things you don't want to buy too much in on. But to me, I like Jaden Daniels. I like the upside there, the athleticism, but he can make the throws. If you're sitting there at number 2 and you're a guy that's shared a football field with that man, Jaden Daniels, but you look at the 4 they brought in, and to me, I think it's more the top 3 than Michael Penix. I don't think Michael Penix being the number 2 overall pick in this draft, but he was there in the room. You're choosing between Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and J.J. McCarthy at number 2. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Jaden. My roommate Bryce sacked him twice, so he gives me slack. He's like, oh, I got the Heisman Trophy winner. So I'm taking Jaden Daniels. He's off the field. He doesn't have off the field issues. He's transferred from Arizona State. Excellent pocket awareness. He's able to have the scramble ability. I remember there's one play, they're kind of driving down. They didn't punt the ball at all. They went for it on 4th downs. They were either scoring touchdowns, trying to kick field goals, or they turn over on downs. But there was one time they're driving into the end zone, and I'm out here, on 3, pushing the 2, and Jaden Daniels, he's scrambling through the pocket, and then he just takes off through the middle of the defense, and then AJ Hulsey, tackles him by the foot, gets him down before he can get into the end zone. Dude is fast. I know the comps have him to like Lamar Jackson. I see his throwing mechanics just a little bit better than a Lamar Jackson, but again, you can't miss in this draft on talent. So, you know, if Jaden Daniels is your guy, you need to go get him, and you know, he's probably going to be a little bit upset. Like, why are you bringing all 4 guys on my visit? Like, if you were going to take me number 2, you know, you should have just brought me. But it is what it is, and yeah,
things you have to deal with in the pre-draft process. And yeah, Jaden Daniels is the first guy that I have that feeling with, of legit Lamar Jackson traits.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to say, oh, the guy's a runner and he's an athlete. He's like Lamar. No, Lamar is a different cat.
Yeah.
Like, he has that wiggle, and I do agree with you. Like, we've seen Lamar develop into a better passer.
Yeah.
Jaden has that, and now he can develop, you know, into someone that can, the legs can be a positive.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I think, some of the difference when I look at these running quarterbacks is, yeah, he'll use his legs, but he doesn't fall back on them all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you have to start. Is you don't want to take away a quarterback's athleticism.
Yeah.
They have it.
Yeah.
Because that can make him special and that can do things. But I do trust Jaden Daniels in the pocket. So I have him as my QB too. It's easy. Caleb Williams going 1. Chicago, they haven't played any games with that. They brought in one quarterback. It's Caleb. They're taking him. Number 1 overall. And then at 3, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May. Because I think if you're the Patriots, you got to select the quarterback.
Yeah. You can't run it back with Mac.
Well, you traded Mike.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have Jacoby Brissett in there on a 1-year deal. Like, even if it's not the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft class, you're sitting there at 3.
Yep.
Figure out which one of those guys you like.
Yep.
Outside of that,
It's going to be it. That's what's so interesting with this draft class of quarterbacks. Like, you're certain about the first 2, and then 3 could be one of 3 guys. Like, you know, so it's going to be real interesting for the Patriots. If J.J. McCarthy's their guy, you know, then so sorry to Jim Harbaugh, who everybody's talking about was going to trade Justin Herbert.
that would be wild.
That
But,
would
hey,
be wild.
If you love J.J. McCarthy,
Yeah.
you could get a boatload of picks for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Just think, so Minnesota wants a quarterback.
Everybody would want Justin Herbert. Like,
Minnesota gives you 11-23 this draft,
Yeah.
plus 2 future first-round picks. Is that even enough?
you want proven guys, and
Yeah.
even though Justin Herbert doesn't have playoff, you know, experience like that, you want proven guys, and Justin Herbert's been able to prove he can be a top 10 quarterback, top 5 even maybe in this league.
And that's why also these quarterbacks get pushed up, and why we could be looking at, you know, Michael Penix and Bo Nix go in the first round. Maybe they're not truly first-round talents, but that's the position you need. You need to find a successful guy at the position that pushes those guys up. Another quarterback is with New Mexico ties, has some draft buzz. That's Gavin Hardison, the UTEP quarterback. Did you ever play against Gavin?
I don't think I did. I played UTEP once in 2021. We went down to UTEP. 2022, I had COVID, so I missed
that game.
I missed that game.
Yeah, the UTEP games between UTEP and New Mexico, they haven't been great over the last years, because the one of those games too, I think when Terry Wilson was y'all's quarterback, and the entire wide receiver room was quarantined.
That was 2021. We went down there. We got up to a 13-3 lead, and then, you know, third quarter came, and they just, I think they scored or had maybe 200 yards within like 3 different plays. So
there's been some weird games between UNM and UTEP over the last few years. But Gavin Hardison, who did finish his career at UTEP, he's from Hobbs, New Mexico, started his career at NIMI. So yesterday we were talking about former Lobo hooper Byron Matos. You know, he's played 20 games after redshirting back in 2022-21. He was on the floor for the Lobos. He joined the NFL's International Pathway Program, and he got a top 30 visit to Cincinnati. Well, Gavin Hardison went on a pre-draft visit to Green Bay. So he got one of their top 30 visits to come into town. And Green Bay's moved on Jordan Love, Utah State alum. Really good in the second half of the season. Changed the narrative from the first 8 games to the second 8 games. So the first 8 games of the season, everyone's like, well, this dude ain't in it.
Yeah.
Second half of the season, you're like, this guy's got it.
Yeah.
But Gavin Hardison going in there, getting a pre-draft visit. Hobbs, New Mexico. Kid that he is coming off Tommy John surgery. So that ended his season. He had Tommy John surgery in November, but getting a look from the Green Bay Packers. That's what you're talking about. And you know it, man. You've probably seen your teammates go through it and just getting the opportunities. You know, going through pro days, getting visits, talking with people. What you can do right now.
Yeah, it's a fun experience. obviously my teammate Jarek Reed got drafted last year to the Seattle Seahawks, and being able to watch him on the IG,
He
on
was
the
fantastic
Snapchat,
on special teams for Seattle.
killer, and we interviewed him for the Science Guy podcast, so that's coming up. But no, he had a marvelous rookie year, and his top 30 visit with Seattle Seahawks, just being able to see all the stuff that he's posting and how they're treating the players, you would want that experience, and you can't be more excited than the player actually going through it. So for Gavin Hardison to actually be invited onto a top 30 visit, that's a huge deal. It gives you the satisfaction that the work that I put in is being noticed by NFL teams and NFL drafts, scouts, and I would only imagine
NFL draft next week. Who's your number 2 quarterback? I like Jaden Daniels. I think if Washington Commanders, you pair him with Cliff Kingsbury, the OC, and Cliff Kingsbury did a good job early on with Kyler Murray. They were a playoff team. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted to, but now Cliff as just a straight OC with Jaden Daniels, I think that could be a fun offense moving forward in Washington because you have Terry McLaurin. You added Austin Eckler in the offseason. I think Austin Eckler with Brian Robinson, pretty good combination right there.
Yeah.
In the backfield. And your number 2 receiver, Jahan Dotson. That's pretty good stuff brewing for the Washington Commanders. Let's come back on the other side. Wrap things up here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This former
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2425 888-620 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my...
We'll dive into the injuries more tomorrow. Zion Williamson, Jimmy Butler changed everything, but you're the 8th seed. It's already going to be a challenge. Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Boston Celtics, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. The only team still awaiting their playoff opponent for the NBA playoffs. The full bracket gets going on Saturday. We'll still be talking about you and me.
Yep.
Lakers Nuggets. Let's go.
Lakers.
This series is going at least 6 games this year.
Minimum. If we get swept, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, I don't think the Nuggets are sweeping the Lakers like they did in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I do think it's a different series. The Nuggets are a little bit different team. It's just because you're the defending champ, that doesn't mean you're the same team. Yeah, you won the championship last year. It doesn't guarantee you're winning it this year. It doesn't guarantee you should be the favorite this year. Now for the Nuggets, they won 57 games. They tied for the best record in the Western Conference. They're still that team, but I also look at the Lakers, and with it's not just LeBron James. It's now you have a different X factor in it. D'Angelo Russell, who's been consistent offensively. Austin Reeves is a little bit better. I like Roy Hachimura, Taurean Prince. Like, those are just quality rotation pieces that are going to help the Lakers in a matchup that the Nuggets have won the last 8 times they played.
Yeah.
But I do think they get some games in this series.
Yeah.
And really, right now, you look at the Western Conference. What series do you look at and go, that's easy? Probably just the Thunder now.
Yeah.
If they play, Kings or Pelicans, the Pelicans without
and then,
Zion, and the Kings, they are so top heavy.
Yeah.
But still,
Boston and OKC have it easy. But
outside of that, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm expecting long series like Timberwolves Suns.
Yeah.
With Kevin Booker,
Anthony Edwards is gonna.
Edwards is that dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna have to carry that burden, because there's already, between Phoenix and Timberwolves, there's already a mutual hatred for each other there. Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker do not like each other at all, so that's going to be a very tough series. Karl Anthony Towns is coming back from injury. He played well in their last game. Rudy Gobert is going to give Nurkic fits and problems, but again, Rudy Gobert is going to have to guard Kevin Durant.
Could be the swing player.
Yeah, he's going to have to be.
Karl Anthony Towns on the other side. So,
yeah,
Devin or Katie's going to.
Yeah.
And so if you get Ant and Cat going off, that's chess match there. And then you look at Clippers Mavericks. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Like, James Harden is fit in nicely.
I need all 7 games.
And Kawhi Leonard is questionable.
I want all 7 games. I want Luka. I want Kyrie. I want PG-13. I want Russell Westbrook to get into it. I want everything. I want that. I think that'll be the best. I think that's the best series of this.
It has the outside of the Lakers and LeBron James, Clippers Mavericks has the most like TMZ worthy.
And they played each other so much over the years in the
Kyrie and Luka and the superstars that they are versus the Clippers and Steve Ballmer and is Kawhi going to be there and playoff P. Well, Paul George has been pretty consistent in the playoffs.
He has.
The last couple of years.
Yes. And he's had to do it without Kawhi Leonard at times because Kawhi, sometimes it's like, Kawhi, where'd you go? Like we talked about Zion the other night. Like, we go, he makes the layup, we go into break, he comes out, and we're like, where's Zion? There's been times where Kawhi's like, oh, Kawhi's not playing tonight. Out of nowhere. So Paul George has been consistent for the Clippers. I don't like the Clippers as a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I'm glad they're getting their own stadium. But yeah, I think that's going to be such a great series. Luka's going to go at his own pace. Kyrie's playing phenomenally. Their impact together. Derek Lively has been a great rim protector, been able to flying and, give big explosive plays. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice 7-game series.
The Western Conference, all those series should have some fantastic elements to it. And it's one you look down and there's great duos in all these series. And that, it used to be about kind of the big three, and you saw that with kind of the Celtics, when we saw Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen win a title. And then with the Heat, now Chris Bosh wasn't the same name, but he kind of the Heatles with kind of that concept of it. Now it's kind of morphed into the duo.
Yeah.
Because you look at, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, you're going to get to know those guys.
Yeah.
The playoff series. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, champions. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns would be, I'd still say that would be the duo.
Yeah.
Minnesota. Suns, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I know Bradley Beal is your third piece there.
Yeah.
Clippers, I guess it's who's available. Because you do have three.
Yeah.
A
You have
trio
three.
there.
Yeah.
And then the Mavericks, Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
The Western Conference will be fun. I'm excited. Kenny Thomas is going to join us once again tomorrow, 9 a.m. sitting here in studio. We'll get his thoughts. I'm sure he's happy that his Kings are still playing, and probably got to feel pretty confident about Sacramento going into their matchup with the Pelicans because Zion Williamson is out. It's opening drive. JJ Buckside Riley with you here on a beautiful Thursday morning. We appreciate all you for hanging out with us here on the radio. And as we get ready for the NFL draft, sometimes the biggest moves have nothing to do with that. And one of those teams you're looking at is Philadelphia. And Jalen Hurts, guess what? He's had 3 offensive coordinators the last 3 seasons. When they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Kansas City, what happened? Their offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, he became the head coach in Indianapolis Colts. Their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, became the head coach of Arizona. They saw some struggles last year. And we have 2 new coordinators in Philadelphia. Kellen Moore at the OC. I am bad with names today, Si. Vic Fangio. Thank you. Vic Fangio, the new DC in town. But Jalen Hurts was talking this week, though. He hopes for some consistency at the OC position. I think that, we talk about the draft and offseason move for agency. I think those could be 2 of the biggest moves in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
For an Eagles team that was already established.
Yeah, you're gonna expect Jalen Hurts to get kind of back to that Super Bowl, winning or almost Super Bowl winning quarterback play that he was on. His trajectory, being in the MVP conversation, being able to use his legs, his squat is like at 650 pounds. He's extremely tough. They did lose a couple key pieces on the offensive line, but they have Saquon Barkley. Yeah. So it's going to be an exciting time for them. If I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan, I want them to get out to an early, 7-0 regular season start, 8-0 regular season start. And then when they get into division play, I want them to continue to kick the team's butts that they've been kicking. The New York Giants, don't even make it a competition. The Washington Commanders will most certainly select a rookie quarterback. I want them to make it as hard as possible. And, of course, the Dallas Cowboys.
How do you feel, man? 4 days in a row.
I know.
Cy Riley making his debut this week as a co-host.
Yeah.
3 hours, getting up early.
No, thanks, JJ.
How's it feel?
It feels it's amazing, and I appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity and letting me get the experience and the reps, and it's been everything that I could have imagined and more.
Well, I will say, man, you're welcome back anytime. We're going to have you back on the radio. You killed it. Like, this thing needs to turn on the microphone.
Yeah.
Stay here for 3 hours and just go. Yeah. But you got the confidence, you got the knowledge, and you're just going to keep building that, man. So much appreciated. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank
giving
you.
us the time, sharing your stories with the listeners this week. We're scheduled to have Jeff Grammer in studio tomorrow co-hosting. We'll see if Jeff doesn't show up. Guess what? We're going to give Cy the call.
Yeah.
Once again. That's Cy Riley. Jerry, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Adrian on ProView Networks. Great work as always. Got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd at 1. 2 men on. We'll take you up to Ice Hopes Baseball tonight in El Paso. Everybody, Meta World, peace and love. Have a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!